So, of course, every project medyo excited ka. Parang ano kaya yung bago naming design na we can offer. Pero this time parang medyo nag-hold back kami, no, para wala siyang design prejudice. We studied talaga muna kung ano yung requirement ng site. It's a very challenging site kasi parang almost 45 degrees yung slope niya. That's why ang ginawa namin, when you enter the house, it's a single volume space, and then right where dun sa end of the slope, naging double volume siya. So parang we just follow yung contour nung site. That's why sa street level, mukha siyang bungalow. Pero at the back of the house, parang it's a two-story house talaga. I'm architect Patrick Espiritu, so we're from PXP Design Workshop. So we designed this house in Antipolo. When you enter the entrance, you will start from a very low ceiling, tapos medyo dark yung feeling. Parang yun yung initial design element na we wanted to give to the users. And then when they enter the house, parang all of a sudden, there will be a contrast in height. So the dining area, the client's request is to at least have a 12-seater dining area. So that's why we provided them this huge dining table. Then when we design the dining area, parang we make sure na they are oriented towards the landscape or to the big trees outside. When we first visited the site, tiningnan namin yung mga strength ng site or yung parang very interesting points ng site. No? So one of the interesting points talaga ng site is yung rain tree in front of the where the living room is. Doon nag-start how we massage the spaces. It's not your typical house na when you enter, there's a foyer, then living room, dining, and kitchen. So what happened here, parang we positioned first yung living room doon sa main interest ng site, which is yung tree. Then from there, parang tinry na namin i-massage yung spaces according to that strategy. So that's why when you enter, it's dining room first, and on the side is kitchen. And further back is yung living room. Kasi parang we really want the living room na maging oriented siya dun sa rain tree. As much as possible, we really try to keep the palette as neutral as possible. Yung walls will be all wood. So yung natural color ng wood, yun yung magde-define na ng palette ng buong space. Yung flooring is concrete. Kung ano yung color ng concrete, parang we really try to be as honest as possible to the color ng materials. Then we try to inject dark walls sa mga blank walls namin because we really want na i-frame lang yung nature. As much as possible, mag-focus yung eyes ng users outside. So sobrang daming puno sa site. So parang yung initial naming solution is to introduce a gable roof. So it's a gutterless house. Isa sa mga problem if madaming trees sa site, di ba? Parang nasa stuck yung leaf sa gutter. So that's why parang I think initially parang magiging problem yan for the house. Ngayon, pag titingnan mo siya, parang it's a series of gable roof na parang joined together. So that's what yung naging form nung house na. During our client interview, they want this space na maging hangout area talaga. So that's why medyo generous yung space dun sa general areas like living, dining, and kitchen. So parang we really want them na mag-gather on this level. So yung second level, which is yung level below, parang yun na yung mga pagiging private zone or yun yung magiging mas quiet spaces. So this is the only kitchen in the house. There's no service kitchen. Actually, it's our first time to design a house na there's no service kitchen. So they want the kitchen to be honest. So this is parang yung fully functional kitchen. So this is where they cook, this is where they bake, and as also parang this will be where they entertain guests. As you can see, parang sobrang lapit niyan doon sa main entrance. Kasi parang nangyayari, parang when guests enter the house, normally yung first stop nila is yung kitchen. Based on our experience with our clients, parang yung kitchen talaga yung nagiging heart of the house. We always strive na every space maging sensorial siya, na parang there's a pause in every space. Pagpasok mo, parang it's all open, di ba? Parang no walls. Pero what we did here, parang there's an invisible wall created by yung design ng ceiling natin. So parang nangyari, every gable roof, parang naging pods siya. So na-create siya, parang nag-create siya ng invisible spaces. Invisible lines o invisible walls, division, parang gano'n siya. No matter how beautiful the space is or your architecture is, if it's not really doing its purpose to help elevate yung life ng user, it will be all, in the end, it will all be useless. And a good design should function according to the requirement of the client, according to the requirement of the user.
For more insightful videos on design, subscribe to Design Will Save the World.